Old boy that would give you the shirt off his back.
A construction worker from Kentucky dies in an overpass collapse in Cincinnati. How people who knew him say he'll be remembered.
A Lexington man accused of killing his boyfriend faced a judge today. How the community is helping the victim's friends and family.
A Kentucky teenager accused of going on a multi-state crime spree with his 13-year-old girlfriend is giving us his side of the story from jail.
This is a WKYT breaking news alert.
Good evening to you. We start tonight with breaking news involving the Lexington Parking Authority, the agency responsible for operating Lexington's parking meters and garages.
As WKYT investigates started asking questions, the Lexington Parking Authority Board now admits that years of mistakes involving fines for parking tickets on expired meters happened. WKYT's Miranda Combs is at the live desk now following this breaking story. Miranda?
Yeah, Sam, as you well know, this story is about 4 years of overcharging some drivers who received parking tickets in Lexington. After someone tipped WKYT to the problem, we filed these open records requests to track down answers. LexPark said they were working on our requests. Between 2008 and 2012, LexPark says it made a clerical error. That error meant some drivers ticketed for parking violations received $15 fines for late payments too soon. We started asking questions to LexPark's executive director, Gary Means, and late this afternoon, the board's chairman stepped in. James Fraser said only one type of violation out of 35 potential parking violations was impacted. While he said there have been no complaints, clearly the right thing to do is to refund the money that was prematurely collected. But here's an issue we're still asking for answers on. LexPark's board said it just recently was made aware of this issue. This 2012 email from LexPark's director documents how he knew about the problem then. Means called it a major issue and was looking for answers about how to deal with the issue. That was almost 3 years ago. Now LexPark's board says it was just recently told about this problem. At the live desk, Miranda Combs, WKYT.
Miranda, thank you. And while the chair of the board says only one violation was involved, for 4 years, those fines for the expired parking meter amounted to more than $1 million. Of all parking violations from 2008 to 2012, the expired parking meter was at least 50% of all the tickets written.
It is the question investigators say they just can't answer yet. What caused an overpass to collapse onto Interstate 75 in Cincinnati, killing a Kentucky construction worker?
The Hopple Street overpass fell onto the southbound lanes last night. Investigators say that construction workers were in the process of tearing down the overpass when it suddenly collapsed. A truck driver suffered minor injuries. Southbound Interstate 75 could be closed for days in that area, and that has led to gridlock on detour routes. Investigators say they have a lot of work to do.
This situation could have been significantly worse. Just timing that we only have one fatality out of this. We have handled this, we handled it as a death investigation as opposed to a traffic incident because of the unique circumstances.
Today, investigators identified that construction worker killed as 35-year-old Brandon Carl of Bracken County. They say his body was pinned under the rubble of the overpass. Sam Smith talked to some of Carl's friends. It's our top story at 6.
When word of Brandon Carl's death reached his hometown of Augusta,
I just cried. I've cried all morning.
Those that knew him couldn't believe it.
I don't really know that the words can express. It was just such a shock.
That bridge collapse in Cincinnati ended the 35-year-old's life. He leaves behind a fiance and 4 kids.
It's a shame to get his life taken like that.
Pray for all of them to make it through it, because it's going to be tough.
People that live here tell me Augusta is a tight-knit community, and when something happens to one person, it impacts everyone else.
When we all cry, and we cry, we all laugh, we all laugh.
Carl is described as a kind, hard-working man. I'm told when he wasn't doing construction, he was working on a farm.
You know, I'd just spoken to him and seen him on Saturday when his daughter played in the Class A finals at Bracken County, and they had won that.
Robin Kelch coached Carl while he was in high school. He says he was a hard worker then, too. And like for many people in town, his death is hard to accept.
Still hard to embrace what's happened.
But he's confident the area will jump to help Carl's family with whatever they need. In Augusta, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Funeral arrangements are pending, but they're being handled by Metcalf Hennessy Funeral Home in Augusta.
A Lexington man accused of stabbing his boyfriend to death says he is not guilty. 20-year-old Matthew Donaghy was arraigned on a murder charge this afternoon. Police say he killed 40-year-old Todd Schumacher at a home on Lamont Drive Sunday. Some of the victim's friends were at today's hearing. As Victor Puente tells us, the community is rallying around Schumacher's family and friends.
20-year-old Matthew Donaghy let his attorney do most of his talking for him at his arraignment this afternoon, only telling the judge his name and birthday. When his attorney asked for an evaluation through the Kentucky Correctional Psychiatric Center, Judge Megan Lake Thornton told him that wasn't going to happen, but said he could file a motion asking for a comp care assessment before Donaghy's next court date. Donaghy is charged with killing his boyfriend, 40-year-old Todd Schumacher, Sunday night. Judge Thornton said she wouldn't be setting a bond in the case. Several of Todd Schumacher's friends came to this arraignment. A few said they were too emotional to talk about his death, but one did speak to me. He said he was most surprised about the crime because of how kind the victim was.
He'd do almost anything he could to help anybody out, especially his close friend.
Donaghy was already going through the court system on a care and treatment of animals charge from last October. Police say Donaghy put his roommate's canine in a hot oven, causing multiple burns. Friends say that dog is the same one Schumacher reported missing a week ago, just a few days before he was stabbed to death.
To see something like that happen to him, but that close to home, to know one of your friends had something like that going on in their lives you never knew. It's shocking.
In the days since Lexington police were called to that home on Lamont Drive, friends and family of Todd Schumacher have raised more than $11,000. They plan on using that money to pay for his funeral and to help many of his family members who live out of state travel to Kentucky. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Schumacher's funeral is this Friday at the Clark Legacy Center in Lexington. Donaghy will also be in court later this month for the care and treatment of animals charge, which is a misdemeanor. A woman has been arrested in connection to a deadly crash in Lexington last September. Lexington police have charged 27-year-old Kayla Foster with manslaughter, assault, and leaving the scene of an accident. Police say Foster's car crashed into another car on Ironworks Pike September 14th. Investigators say 51-year-old Enarita De Los Santos was killed. Police say alcohol played a role in that crash.
He is one of two Kentucky teenagers accused in a 2-week-long crime spree across the southeast that ended this weekend in Florida. And for the first time since his arrest this weekend, 18-year-old Dalton Hayes is speaking publicly about his 2 weeks on the run with 13-year-old Cheyenne Phillips. Jennifer Palumbo has more on what Dalton Hayes had to say from jail today. Jennifer?
I kept asking how old she was. She kept telling me 18, almost 19.
Dalton Hayes insists when his relationship with Cheyenne Phillips started, he had no idea she was lying about her age.
She told me she had a truck, she had a license, she had all that good stuff. And then she said, I'm 18, I'm not lying to you. I said, all right. She had fake IDs she showed me. She had job stuff she showed me.
But when the 18-year-old Hayes discovered his girlfriend was only 13, the two went on the run. 2 weeks later, police caught up with them in Panama City Beach. Hayes says Phillips told him she was pregnant with his child.
We was fighting and arguing again. She said, by the way, I had a miscarriage. I just didn't know how to tell you. And I was like, man, all you had to do is just tell me something.
Dalton Hayes was booked into the Bay County Jail in Florida Sunday. After his arrest, he was charged with custodial interference of a minor in Kentucky. In court yesterday, Hayes waived his right to an extradition hearing and is now waiting to be brought back to Kentucky. In jail, he was asked if it was all worth it.
No. That was worth the last 14 days with her, because that's what made me happy, spending my time with her.
Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
Police in Grayson County also arrested the 13-year-old girl's mother. Sherry Peters is charged with felony custodial interference for picking up Cheyenne Phillips from her father's home earlier this month. Peters does not have custody or visitation rights. He says the future looks bright for Lexington. Today, Mayor Jim Gray delivering his annual State of the City address.
He says since he became mayor 4 years ago, jobs have been added and the unemployment rate has dropped. And he says investments in public safety have paid off. This year, he says the city will come up with steps to save the old courthouse downtown, and he plans to include funding for the first phase of renovations. He also wants to improve neighborhood parks around the city and start work on the new Town Branch Commons Park. Mayor Gray called for the people of Lexington to make 2015 a year of service.
We can seize the moment because we know where we have been, where we are going, and how we are going to get there. Yes, you know, we all know that for Lexington, the best is yet to come.
Mayor Gray says the city is also working with the University of Kentucky to make Lexington a gigabit city and to make broadband internet access more affordable.